Hello everybody, it's Lynn with Crafting Break, and I am here with the November free with purchase class. I held the in-person class yesterday, and I'm filming this video today for those that are interested in getting the kit with an online purchase. If you are not familiar with that, how it works is if you place an order, a minimum order of $35 on my website, my Stampin' Up website, from now until next Sunday, I will send you all the parts in this kit, all the pieces of cardstock, so you can make these cards. I do not stamp anything ahead of time, but there are some things I do die cut ahead of time, and I will show those to you as we go through the cards. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath there. Let me start with card number 1. This is the card the first card. What I used in the cards this month is I used the Gingerbread Man, and I used the dies. Let me grab those dies. This die set is rather large. This gingerbread person comes attached, and on this first card, what I did is I cut him apart. And so you'll see that because I did that, oh, you can't see it on here. I'll show you when I get to the parts, but he's angling differently because when you cut him, it leaves a straight edge on the right side and the left side. So that's why he's going different directions on 2 of my cards. So let me show you what is included in the first card. That would be this one. So everything always comes in the envelope. Inside the card base are all the pieces. The piece that's behind is always the layer for the inside of the card. Sometimes it's the same size, sometimes it's not. In this case, they are the exact same size. So here's what I was mentioning about. I cut the guy, and you can see how this side is got a straight edge to it. So I want this gingerbread man to go this way. Now, if I forget, flip him over, and you can stamp him on this side. When you do die cut, though, it does leave just a slight raised edge. So you'll want to take your bone folder to kind of flatten that raised edge a little bit. I'm going to do my best to remember that I'm going this direction with him. So because of that, I'm going to leave this sample card out for me so I don't mess up. And okay, so you'll get a piece of pecan pie to die cut your own gingerbread person out. You'll get the red card, real red card base. You will get just one garden green and one basic white. And you only need one because the candy cane die cuts out 2 pieces. And let me show you what I mean by that. Here's the green that gets die cut out. And I did this ahead of time so you didn't have to see me die cut. And here's the white. So all I'm going to do is take the white on top of the green and take the green on top of the white. And that's why you only need one of each, because let me show you this die. Here's the die. It cuts both at the same time. So if you happen to get 2 greens and 2 whites, meaning one in one card, sorry, let me explain that a little better. You make 2 of each card. So if I forget and you've got, you know, a green and a white in one card and another green and white in another card, it's a gift for me. Sometimes I forget. I just get on a roll to cut and paper, and I don't think about, oh, 2 cards only need 1 green and 1 white. Okay, so let me put those aside because I've already die cut those. Let me get these candy canes out of the way as well. I did not layer this stamp on yet because I wanted to walk you through how I did that. So you can see he's a little wonky. It's easy, you know, sometimes you can lay it flat and pick it up. Here's what I do for this guy. I'm going to put him directly on the gingerbread and make him fit where I want. This worked better for me. Even with throwing the stamp flat and picking it up, I still was slightly off. So I'm just going to do this, and my head's kind of in the way, so I apologize. That looks good. I'm going to take his buttons, and I'm going to put his face on there at the same time. Now, if my block doesn't happen to pick some of those up, I will go back and get them. So I've got the stamp laid out. I'm going to put my large block down, and I'm going to pick it up. There we go. So now we're ready to go. It's as simple as that. That's just the way I found it was easiest to do that. Okay, I'm going to, let's go ahead and stamp our gingerbread first. And I'm going to move this card up here so it blocks the light that happens over here. Okay, I have an ink spot, but I am using pecan pie. I like to use a small ink spot on large stamps like this so I can just easily go around and stamp the image rather than the large ink pad and getting a bunch of extra ink all over the sides of the stamp and maybe accidentally getting a halo. And this one is very juicy. I may have put a little too much ink in there, but it'll be just fine. Okay, pardon my head if it happens to get in there. All right, I'm going for it. And let's see how we did. Great. I'm going to clean this off really quick because we will use this for card number 2, and I'm going to leave all the pieces just as they are. I'm not going to take them off. Okay, I'm trying to keep all this organized, and I know I'm going to make a hot mess over here in a minute. Okay, so you're going to get this extra, or this red, real red cardstock too. This is to cut the bow tie, which I've already done ahead of time. And yes, it does cut out 3 separate pieces. And then you'll get some scrap basic white. And you stamp the gumdrops. So we used in this one, the gumdrops to stamp. And you're going to stamp a set in real red and a set in green. And they stamp together. So you want 1 set of red, clean it off, 1 set of green, and when you die cut them, they pull apart. And I did 1 of each because then I could put a large green gumdrop with a small red and a large red with a small green. So just kind of, you know, mix and match them a little bit. I didn't want the same color on the card, and plus I wanted to pop them up. Okay, so let's now go to our, let's put this on. I don't want to have an ink mistake. Let's go ahead and get the cookie crumbs and the pecan pie. And we're going to stamp some crumbs in the corner in a bit of a random way. So I just start in the corner and then I turn the stamp and sometimes the paper to just kind of get some crumbs in the corner. I think they're crumbs. I mean, they could be something else. They look like cookie crumbs to me. Okay, just like that. And that's done. And now we want real red. Season's Eatings. I kept trying to say Season's Greetings the other day, and that is not what this says. It says Season's Eatings. And that's going to go up here on the top right. And if you were doing the opposite card, it would go on the top left. And again, it's okay if you forget that they're going in different directions. Okay, that is done. I know the hard thing about doing this on camera all together instead of 3 separate videos and doing the, oops, sorry, all 3 cards at once is the boring part of cleaning in between, so I do apologize. Okay, what is next? Let's see. Let's get my silicone mat out, which, you know, I put in a really smart place, and I'm probably not going to be able to, oh, here it is. I'm going to do some gluing. I'm going to glue his bow together. And I might as well glue my candy canes together too. And I need the best tool in the world, some reversible tweezers, and that little piece. Okay, I'm going to pick up, reversible tweezers are great because you can hold things in place. I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right here. As long as this one's not clogged. Oh, it is a little clogged. And the bow will sit right on top. At least this is how I built the bow. Okay. Oops, a little crooked. Let's fix that a little bit. And what's nice about gluing on the silicone mat is nothing will stick to it. And tiny dab of glue right there. Let's pick up this little guy. And there we go. Our bow is done. Now let's glue some candy canes. Pick up this green one with my fancy reversible tweezers. And of course, a little bit goes a long way. I like using this tiny little plastic bottle for glue. It's got a really nice tip on it. Now see, I got a little heavy, and not too heavy, but a little heavy. So what's great about the mat again is dab the glue off and now take it to your project. And I use the tweezers just to get me started, and then I come in and I pick it up and kind of shift it and move it where it needs to go. Oops. Okay, there's that candy cane. And let's just glue this other one while we're here. So the second card will be ready to go as well. I'm only going to make one on camera, but you'll be able to glue both of yours together at the same time because you'll be making 2 cards. It was so fun because yesterday we did, like I mentioned, the in-person class, and because it was themed around this gingerbread set and also I think it's a baking set. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll pull it out when we get to the card. We did a cookie exchange, which was a lot of fun. So it was a really fun day. Okay, there's our bow and our 2 candy canes. I'm going to set this one aside because I don't need it for this card. And I'm going to put the silicone mat over here because I think I need it later. Let's cap that before it dries out. Although the top of it did break off, so it's going to dry out. Alrighty, let's glue our gingerbread man down. I just glued him flat. You can pop him up if you want. Your card, your design, your way. And he just kind of goes at a little bit of an angle. And this is what kind of bothered me. So, I mean, I could have twisted my candy cane the other way as well. It fits here just fine. So another option would be to flip your candy cane over and go this direction. But again, when you die cut, the back side does have a slight little raise to it. So I just make it fit. And now you'll never know that his hand was basically chopped off over there. Okay, with the gumdrops, actually before I get to the gumdrops, I'm going to use these 2 for this card. I'm going to move all this to the side. Let's stamp the sentiment inside. And the inside says, Baking Spirits Bright. And that is going to be in real red. And a little crooked, but that is okay. I'm going to blame it on being on camera and it's in my way. Okay, card base is somewhere around here. Here's one. I don't know if it's the right one. Let's glue the... Ooh, that got a little funky. You never know what you're going to get after a class. What the state of your glues look like, or your dimensionals, or your embellishments. Okay, this is the inside layer. What would be cute is cutting out, you know what? I think I'm going to, since I have them here, I'll just cut some other ones for my next card. If you have extra basic white scrap paper, which I'm sure we all do, you could put some of these gumdrops in here as well. So since I've already die cut those out, let's put those inside. Okay, what is next? My little bow tie. Oh, I gotta sneeze. I apologize. And it's never just one for me. There might be 3 more. It's usually about 5. Oops. I'm still have to put that on the card base. Here's his bow tie. All right, let's glue the card front on. Okay. Now, if your candy cane goes off the white layer a little bit, it's okay because there's, you know, a little bit of a border to the card base, so it's not a problem if it does. Okay, these little gumdrops, I'm going to grab some mini dimensionals because they fit perfectly behind those. And let's put those onto our, put those onto our card. I got a trash can over there, so don't mind the reach. I shouldn't call it trash can, it's my recycle bin. Okay, I'm gonna grab some Wink Stella because, you know, gumdrops have the, you know, the sugar on the outside. So let's make them all sugary, like a gumdrop. And there we go. Card number 1 is all done. So again, you'll have one that goes that direction, and the other one will go this direction because their hands are attached right here. Okay, I hope you like that card. Let's go to card number 2. Now, card number 2 is going to involve some heat embossing, which I am going to do on camera for you. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Okay, we're going to do card number 2 as soon as I find the... Oh, it's right here in front of my face. Nope, that's not it. I'm looking for the envelope that's got all the... You know, I tell you, you start organized and you start moving things and you're not so organized. Here it is. Oh, the lack of room on a 6-foot table. Okay, let's pull this out. So again, what you're going to get in this one is you'll get a garden green card base. Oh, let me pull on the sample. That would help, right? You want to see what we're making. Here it is. This is the card we're making next. This is, so the gingerbread man come attached, like I mentioned, and there's a crease where you can fold it. So what I did on this one is I left it like a little mini card, and it opens and says Baking Spirits Bright, and then inside it says Sugar and Spice and Everything Nice. So that's this card. This is the heat embossing, so it looks like we frosted our gingerbread man. So pretty simple, other than, you know, I guess the heat embossing if you're not used to doing that. So let me put this little guy up here in the corner. And I'm going to kind of start with some simple stuff before we get to the heat embossing. Why don't we do our stamping? Let me put these guys out of the way. So it's going to say Seasons Eatings on the outside, in the bottom right corner in garden green. Oh, I got some ink on the top, so I better be careful. Okay. And I do need to get a stamp out. Sugar and Spice and Everything Nice. Now, I will say, unfortunately, on my stamp set, you know, I started working with the stamp set, and I just couldn't understand why my stamping was terrible every time. My stamp has a little bit of a defect, and, you know, Stampin' Up! Is really great. If I were to call them, they would fix it and replace it. But I'm going to work with it. I mean, I've learned how to work with it, so it's fine. It's just one stamp in the set. But their customer service is great, so if you ever have a problem, just call them. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but on a photopolymer stamp, they're raised a little bit, right? My Spice over here does not have the same height as the rest. And so I have to be really careful because the ink will kind of go everywhere. So what I've learned to do with my stamp is I just kind of rock it onto my ink pad, and it gets the ink where I need it. And it works nicely. If I try to go down, just tap, 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 it's a mess. You can see kind of where the ink gets in there. That's because it's not raised very high. But I've learned how to work with it. So like I said, I'm okay. It's just one stamp out of the set, and it's not a problem. I'm going to clean that really quick. And anything else I've used over here that I can't remember what I've used. So let's just clean all these real quick. Okay. Next, we need this one, Baking Spirits Bright, and that's going to go inside our gingerbread man. So, like I usually say, here's the valley right here. That creates my mountain, so which means it's going to fold from left to right. So I'm going to stamp right here. Because I don't want to fold it yet because I want to have a flat surface when I go to do my heat embossing. So right across here, Baking Spirits Bright. And that will lighten up as it dries. So it looks really dark right now, but it's just a subtle little saying in there. Okay, let's take this piece of DSP and let's glue that to the front card layer. Like I said, that's why we have less on the table when we go to do our heat embossing, because knowing me, I'm going to take the heat gun and I'm going to blow it all off the table anyway. My kitty cat's crying over here. What you need, Teddy? You want to say hi to people? Okay, let's glue the inside layer. And let's glue the outside, or inside and outside layer, because we're done with this one. Okay. This set is so much fun. I've seen so many cute cards. With the gingerbread, there's a die that cuts, well, any part of his arm or his leg off. And it's really cute when you do that. You can say, oh, snap, like the cookie has snapped off. It's just such a cute set. Okay, let's get the heat embossing ready. I've got, oh, I did not plug in my heat gun, so let me do that real quick. And I will heat it off the camera because this is a glass mat. I don't want it to get too hot. But, oh. Well, there you go. It was already on. I will bring it back in so you can kind of see the magic of it changing. Okay, piece of white paper. I'm going to use the little embossing buddy to get all of the static and my fingerprints and the oils off of it. Blow that off. Versamark. Let's ink this up. And again, because this is a large stamp, I'm going to take my Versamark to my stamp. Hopefully I'm in camera. I think I am. I haven't heat embossed in a long time, so I shouldn't say that. I mean, I did it quite a few times yesterday, but prior to this card, I haven't done this in a while. Okay, pardon my head if it gets in the camera, but I need to see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to let that sit there for just a second. Pull it off. And I'm going to use a ton. That's not the white I wanted. I have newer white ink, so let's use that. Or powder, so let's use that. Let's start pouring the powder on. All right, looks pretty good. Oh, let's get a little bit more over here. Oh, just do the whole thing again. It doesn't hurt anything. All right, now very carefully, I'm going to get this back into my container. All right, put the lid on that. Now, like I said, I am going to go off camera for a minute to start the heat embossing, and then I will bring it back in and show you the as it turns a little bit. And it does take a minute for the heat gun to warm up, so it's doing what it needs to do. All right, starting to change. So as it gets towards the end, I'll bring it back in so you can see it. All right, here we go. Let me bring it in. So you can see the powder, it starts to glisten. Sorry if that's really loud, but I want you to see this part. Now you can overheat. So once you see it change to a solid, it's done. So you don't want to, wow, it just got all of a sudden really quiet. You can overheat it. So as you see it changing, you know, stop. You've gone far enough. You know, it does not need any more. And it will be a little sticky. It might be, let's see. I'm going to do that corner right there just a little bit more, just in case. Yep. It needed that. Okay, so that looks better. So if you overheat it, the glossiness of it will fade away and it'll kind of sink into your paper a little bit. And that's not what you want. So like I said, as you could, I go along I just cannot talk today. I go along the stamped image and I just go in order. And as it changes, I just keep moving it. And it will be a little tacky when it's hot, but you know, now it's fine. I can touch it. I can put my hands over it. No problem. So let's fold that. And we're going to, oh, there goes my bone folder. We're going to glue him to the front of the card. My little catty having a hard time finding space. All right, he'll go just about like that. And the cute little embellishment I'm using on this card are the Real Red and White adhesive back peppermints. Now, if you've been a Stampin' Up! Fan for a while, you'll know that these were hard to keep in stock last year. Now, you know, there's some new embellishments that are hard to keep in stock this year. So these little cute peppermint patties, if you will, are readily available this year, so I'm using them. I tell you, the cuter the embellishment, the harder it is to stay in stock. Okay, so there we have it. Card number 2, Seasons Eatings, Baking Spirits Bright, Sugar and Spice, and Everything Nice. I hope you like card number 2. I think this one is, oh, I can't say it's my favorite because this last one is really my favorite. I just love it. I'm going to clean this real quick because the Versamark does get sticky. And I could tell after I put the stamp on this that I'm going to have to run my blocks through my dishwasher. They are so dirty. Okay, that's as much as I'm going to do with that. Okay, let's move on to the last card. Let me move this one out of the way. Here is the last card, and let me grab this one because they will look slightly different. Now, I didn't have enough DSP for this card, and you can see this was my first sample card, and this layer down here was much larger. Actually, that's not even what I used for my cards. I used this DSP. So, you know, there's only 2 12 by 12 sheets in a pack, and I didn't have enough for all of my kits, so one card will have this DSP strip, and this one will have this, I guess is this cloud cover? No, it's, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on the name. Secret Sea, which I thought was still just as pretty. So in this card kit, you're going to make 2, one with this DSP, one with this one. And what comes in this one will be the Real Red card base, your strip of DSP, one of this one and then one of that one. I will die cut this basic white scrap for you. This is the inside layer, and it will have, I've already taken them out so you can't see, but this one will also come with, let's go over here. Oh, right here. It'll also come with a piece of silver for the cookie sheet, and this basic white is for the oven mitt, and this one is for your rolling pin, and then there'll be another scrap in there for your cookies. So let me show you the die set for that so you can see what I did. Here's the dies I used, and here, oh, let me get the stamps out. Here's the stamp set, Homemade Treats, and then the dies that go with it are the Homemade Treats dies. And of course, if you buy them both together, you save 10% because there's a bundle price on that. And what's great about this die set is, you know, here's the little cookies I did, Santa hat, a gingerbread, and a candy cane. There are 2 dies for those, so you can cut twice as many. And they are, you know, they're little, so it's nice that you can cut multiples at a time. The oven mitt, the rolling pin, the icing bag, this is the dough, and then the baking sheet. So on this one, I went ahead and I pre-die cut everything already. Let me move some of this stuff out of my way. I've already cut my baking sheet and my oven mitt and my rolling pin. So for this, let me actually clear some of these blocks off because I need 2 of those for this card. I need this one, and probably let's just grab this size. Okay. Let me grab that stamp set back, because we need these sentiments. I pretty much have done everything else for this card. Okay, where to start? Where to start? Let's move these out of the way. Keep that in the corner. Throw that card over there and make a mess. Okay, we're using Garden Green on this card. Well, I use Garden Green. You don't have to. 'Tis the season for baking. And that is going to go in my top right corner. And this is a landscape card. Landscape. I'm saying that multiple times because my inside layer's got to go the right way. All right, let's put, it's beginning to taste like Christmas. And that is what's going on the inside of the card. I got a little bit of a halo, so let's be careful when I stamp that. Okay. Now I am going to bring the pecan pie, and I'm going to grab this little gingerbread guy because I just think this was what we were doing in the card class yesterday. It was so cute. Everyone just loved this little gingerbread guy. He's going to go on the bottom corner of my inside layer. You can use him on your envelope. You can use the candy cane, anything to dress up your envelope. Okay, let's go ahead and crease my card here. And let's put the inside layer on. Hope you all are getting your Christmas cards done. I just sat here and addressed all of my fall thank you cards. Or not fall thank you. Fall Thanksgiving, thinking of you, grateful cards out. I just addressed them all today, so I'm going to drop those off at the post office tomorrow. I actually am going to get those in the mail this year. So maybe there's hope for me to get Christmas cards out. No excuse, I've made enough of them. I've got to mail them this year. All right. That layer goes right onto the card base. I did not, it's very rare for me to take DSP straight to the card base as a layer like that, but that is what I did. Okay, the rolling pin, I just glued flat. I did not pop that guy up, or that element up. Let's put a little dab on the ends there. And that's going to go up here. I glued the baking sheet down flat as well. And that will go kind of at an angle so it fits. Oh, not like that, Lynn. Good golly. Oh, it's because I went the wrong way. Oh, goodness. I was trying to angle that the wrong way. All right, there we go. All right. Now, the oven mitt is popped up on dimensionals. You could see I stamped it bad on the first try, so then I went to the back side. 2 sides to every paper. So if you're seeing the ink back there, that's what happened. I had a little problem. Okay, the oven mitt's gonna barely hold that on. I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, I don't know why I put this away. I'm going to pop up this entire layer on dimensionals. Getting to the end. One more. Okay. Do you all mail Christmas cards out, or even Thanksgiving? You know, I made a bunch of Halloween cards, and I had every intent of mailing Halloween cards out, and it did not happen. So I was determined I was going to get the fall cards out. I was just determined. Okay, I went ahead and pre-die cut a lot of what I'm calling cookies. So I'm going to use a gingerbread. I'm going to use a Santa hat. And because I'm using a red Santa hat, I'm going to use, if I can get it out, a green candy cane. And I had pre-cut all those little cookies out for the class yesterday too, because Die cutting these little elements would have taken a long time for an in-person class, even if there are 2 dies for each one. It took me a while. I did a run through of my machine, what, 35 times? Okay, those minis fit just right. Don't worry about the bottom part of that candy cane. It's not going to need one. Okay, let's start with the little gingerbread guy. He's just so cute. Oh my goodness. So darn cute. All these sets are just adorable. Santa hat. And last, candy cane cookie. And let's bring in these peppermints again. I don't think a big one will fit, so I'm going to go mediums and a small one. There we go. And that card is done. So here are the cards for the free with purchase class this month. Let me get them all out again. You'll be making 6 cards total, 2 of each of these designs. Again, minimum of $35 order on my website from now until next Sunday. And I will ship this to you for free. You'll get it in the mail. And the other thing I have going on, if you're interested, if you just need more Christmas cards, I have a Christmas craft-along coming up. It's going to be online videos. If you watch the Halloween craft-along I did, it's a similar thing. We're going to be making 10 Christmas cards. They're super simple cards. The paper does all the work for you. And in this class, you will follow along in the videos. I will walk through how to cut the paper and all of that. So here are the cards I made. So it's the card base comes with envelopes, matching envelopes. So you get the card bases, and these are a little larger than the normal size I do. These are, what are these? These are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So these are larger size cards. So you're going to get actually, let me jump over here and I'll show you everything you're going to get in this kit or in your packet. Let me grab this. I just happen to have some sitting here. I will say I only have 2 left of these. And the reason is this paper has sold out again. I was getting worried, so I advertised this class back in October because I was really worried about this paper. And wouldn't you know, the weekend I put it up as advertisement as a class, the paper went unorderable 3 days later. So it came back. I ordered them for those who had paid already, and I ordered a couple extra, and it's out of stock again. So this is why I only have 2 extra. The rest I ordered for everyone who purchased. So you're going to get these envelopes, the paper, and you're going to get this ephemera pack, which are actually stickers. You don't even have to glue these down. They've got adhesive backs on them. So that comes in the kit. And oh, and you'll also get these gems. Now, these gems are currently unorderable, so they're supposed to come in, I think, the next week. And so once they come in, I'm going to order them right away. If there's a delay for some reason, I'm just going to have to substitute with something else. But it's okay if you don't get your craft along in time for my videos, because you can go back and watch them at any time when you're ready. So you'll also get a pack of embellishments as well, whether it's these or something else. So that's what comes in the kit. And like I mentioned, here are all the cards we're going to make. And you will have to provide the rest of the white cardstock. I'm not going to include that. And anything else I may have used. Like, I'm sure everybody has twine in their crafty stash. So super simple cards. Fast way to get some Christmas cards made if you're a little behind on that. And as a bonus on the last day, I'm going to make some tags. Some of these elements, like these right here, are great for tags. So I'm going to go ahead and do some tags on the last day as well. So I believe that is $54. I could be wrong. I will go ahead and put a link to that in this video description as well, so you can see that. And if you have any questions, as always, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these cards, and happy holidays to you and your family. Bye for now.